The potential for the silver market to be squeezed is impossible because the shorts are the ETFs. He said the ETFs buy the physical and they turn around and sell it on COMEX to be able to hedge the physical position like any other corporate, a commodity rather, excuse me. But that's not how it works. You wouldn't hedge metal on an ETF. You hedge something if you're like me, a company that has an inventory where I own the inventory, but they're safeguarding someone else's metal. You're not hedging it for them. They're taking on the risk. They think it's going to go higher. Why would you hedge it? So what he was basically saying is that they sell the metal into the market, creating more volume, more supply to help suppress the price. It's illegal in essence. He's admitting that they short the silver that they receive into the market. I've always said that the ETFs are a tool for the manipulation of the market. He admitted it. Well, it was a faux pas, right? So anyways, this is done to help suppress the price. But now he said a key difference between the current commodities rally and those of the past has to do with the changing nature of the petrodollar. Where have we heard that before, Dunnigan? With major commodity producers no longer automatically recycling their dollar-denominated oil revenues back into U.S. treasuries. Where have we heard that before, Dunnigan? It explains a lot why gold prices are as strong as they are, he says, and what is the evidence of that is the emerging markets, the BRIC countries. Wonder where we've heard that before.
Andy Schectman sheds light on a crucial shift in the global financial landscape that could spell trouble for the U.S. economy. BRICS nations, including China and India, are now trading oil in local currencies and settling differences in gold instead of U.S. dollars. This trend, reinforced by Russia's reaction to FX sanctions, marks a departure from the traditional petrodollar system. Notably, silver prices in Shanghai have surged, currently standing $4.25 higher than in the West, highlighting a significant supply strain. Schectman argues that the ETFs are manipulating the market by shorting silver to suppress its price. The strategic move by BRICS to prioritize commodities, including gold and silver, over the dollar indicates a broader global economic realignment. This shift could undermine the U.S. economy by reducing demand for U.S. treasuries and the dollar.
All met with Saudi Arabia and other key participants in November of last year and discussed how they're going to trade with one another using local currencies, and then whatever it nets out in settling, they would settle in gold. Where have we heard this before, Dunnigan? He notes that both China and India are paying for oil in local currency, and he thinks that the Russian sanctions on FX reserves mean we are unlikely to see U.S. dollar commodity deficit recycling playing out ever again. Where have we heard any of this, Dunnigan? I ask you. How long have we been saying this? And now Jeffrey Curry, that the head of the table, is saying it. He says, confirmation, and this is the interesting piece, the last piece of the puzzle. He says, Curry's confirmation of gold recycling of commodity surpluses, and I would add silver into that, and I would add oil into that, not just gold, means, here's the key, the de facto net settlement is gold. Let's not forget that oil markets, by the way, Dunnigan, are 12 to 15 times the size of global gold markets. So if indeed all of these countries are buying oil, using local currencies and settling out the differences instead of treasuries into gold, what does that really say for gold's potential? What does it really say for silver's potential in this massive shortage that we see of available silver? And why are the four big bullion banks that are probably the four that are shorting it the most on COMEX, why are they going to the Shanghai Metals Exchange 1 week after another? In essence, it seems they're begging for help in getting out of these short positions. And since they've gone there, the Shanghai silver stockpiles are falling like a stone. Could it be they're working out a deal? We'll give you gold. We'll give you whatever you want. We need your silver or we're going to blow up. And I think that should not be understated. And they're not making it easy on them, mind you, with $36 an ounce silver closed today in Shanghai. What are we at right now in silver? Right now in silver here in the West, we are at 31.78. They're approaching $4.25 an ounce higher. When we started talking about the spread in Shanghai, it was $2, then $3, now $4, $4.25. How much higher does silver have to go before people understand that this is maybe the opportunity of a generation? And I guess I would just simply say that I hope this is starting to make sense. This is a trend that the West perhaps can no longer be in control of. There is not enough physical supply to play this game. You can only manipulate a market over an extended period of time by pushing it in the direction that it is going. I mean, that's what's happening. Our debt, if you look from a historical perspective, owning another country's debt as an asset is a pimple worth of time and the whole scale. Gold and silver and commodities is wealth, and I think, and have been for thousands of years. And I think because of the sanctioning and the aggression and the confiscation of treasuries and of dollars, the rest of the world has had it. Not only that, I think it's become very evident that we are a country that is addicted to spending and have a real problem with our fiscal policy. And we are creating $1 trillion in debt every 100 days. Why would anyone want to hold our treasuries? We have chosen publicly, visually, inflation over austerity. Why would anyone want to hold our treasuries when they're being inflated away and when they're being sanctioned away? And so it just makes no sense. And I think I've said one comment I said on your show and others for a long time, and it's even becoming more ingrained in my head when I think of it, is that commodities are the glue that makes all these other countries stick together. All of these other, the pushback is who's going to trust China? Who trusts us anymore? It's the commodities that pulls the word trust out of it. Fine, we trade in local currencies, but any excess, we settle in gold. That's the deal. We settle in silver. We settle in oil. These commodities are changing the landscape. He who has the commodities makes the rules, period. They've been playing by our rules for a very long time. You know, the United Kingdom put out a piece not too long ago saying, geez, we've really put ourselves at the mercy of other countries because we don't have the natural resources we need. And whether it's rare earth metals or oil or precious metals or grain, whatever the commodities are, you can see a common denominator. Look what we've done to ourselves with energy and all of the uranium and all of these things that we've mothballed or just neglected. These countries are jumping all over it. And when you talk about wanting to own treasuries, why would anyone want to own treasuries from a country it's broke, insolvent, and going around the world imposing sanctions, a country that's lost its bearing here at home? All of these things, they're all interconnected. And it's almost going back to it, like we're trying to make this happen. I mean, either that or our politicians, our leaders are so stupid it's ridiculous, because you can see how these countries have quietly said, listen, we don't want to hold the treasury anymore. We don't want to be beholden to them. Let's all just start trading with ourselves, and we will settle in commodities and remove the trustless situation. We will inspire confidence and trust and begin to trust one another through delivering of commodities. And I think that's exactly what's happening. And so why are the Chinese bailing out the commercial banks? Because the commercial banks, I think, still offer something to the East that they want. And there'll come a time when they won't bail them out either. But there's some deals that are being struck that we don't know of in this opaque landscape. But I can assure you that this is not an act of benevolence. There is a quid pro quo going on in the back rooms that we don't know about. There's always going to be people say, oh, China's indebting these countries. And maybe, but they're doing it in a cooperative manner. Do you see China? Look, China's not perfect, okay? They're not. And, let's just take Taiwan out of the equation. I mean, because I don't think the people in the West truly understand the dynamics between China and Taiwan. But do you see China having military bases all around the world? Do you see China doing things all around the world with coercion and sanctions? No, they are in a cooperative manner emulating kind of what the Western countries did for 300 years, but they're doing it cooperatively. They're going around and expanding and allowing these countries to stand on their own 2 feet by building the infrastructure that allows them to do this. And so say what you want, everyone needs a hand somewhere, and there is no perfect way of doing it. But in my mind, the way that China has done it has inspired a much greater sense of loyalty and cooperation. Even the Shanghai Cooperation Organization and the Belt Road Initiative is not something to be ignored. I've talked about that with you for going on 4 years. And they're putting all of this together in a cooperative manner, and they are using commodities. Zoltan Pozsar was dead on right in 2020 that we are entering a new system that's all about commodities. And that's exactly what it is. And they are becoming worth more than currency. No one wants the dollar that is ultimately going to die. Yeah, they have to take it. They have to use it to get out of their debt positions or because it's still the system or whatever it is. They don't want to. They have to. That's going to change. And that's why they are replacing their treasuries, which would be the first step in commodities, because, there's your savings. And you can see very, very easily that especially gold has way outperformed the bond market with no counterparty risk for the better part of 26 years. If you just look at it or 25 years, just go back to the beginning of the century. So look, I believe this in my soul that this is happening. And I think you can, if you look closely, and you don't even have to be the smartest guy in the world. I'm not, to see the crumbs that are being laid here.
Thanks for tuning in. Let's recap the key points from today's discussion. Andy Schectman highlighted how BRICS nations are moving away from the petrodollar system, trading oil in local currencies and settling in gold. This shift, along with the significant price disparity in silver between Shanghai and the West, underscores the growing strain on silver supplies. Schectman also pointed out the market manipulation by ETFs shorting silver to suppress its price. These changes indicate a broader realignment in the global economy, potentially undermining the US dollar and treasuries. We appreciate your time and insights. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analyses. We'd love to hear your thoughts on today's topic, so please share your opinions in the comments section below.